go ahead and just a minute here. We're closing registration, and the Congressional Committee is going to be reviewing the records right now. From this point forward, if anybody wants to go in or out, you got to go out that back door back there. If you don't have credentials, you walk out that door, you cannot come back in. Nobody who's a visitor is going to be coming in now that we've closed registration. So if you've got your card, keep track of your card. The only people who are in front of the table should be people with a green card with a flag on it and should have your name on it. If you've got a red table, you should be behind the table. If you don't have a colored card, you should be up on the platform on the left. Are there any questions? Okay. Hold on, give us a couple minutes to do the credentials. We'll be right back.
Thank you, both city and county Republicans, for showing up, delegates and alternates alike. I wanted to speak, this is just a public service announcement about microphone technique. I want you to notice how close my lips are to this mic, they're practically touching it. In a germaphobe kind of season, I understand how that can be a little unnerving, but you understand that you can hear my voice very clearly when I'm this close to the mic. Watch what happens when I get about 2 inches away. Now, the people in the back probably cannot hear me as well because it's not picking up much of anything. If we're all real quiet like this, yeah. But I just want you to be aware that just because this mic is on does not mean you can't be that far back. It's not that type of mic, okay? So if you have a point of order or something to bring to the attention of the committee, please bring your lips as close as you can without touching. Fair enough?
Rusty, can you please come close to the table?
Get close to the mic.
I'm looking out there and you're right here. Sorry. Obviously, I'm going to have to eat the mic. Jeanette Wonsing? The police have asked me to alert you that the Forest Park Community Campus is smoke-free, inside and out. So no, you can't go outside and smoke and come back in because you can't smoke. And there's going to be a campus police officer at both doors if anybody has any questions or issues.
Point of information. Are you seating alternates right now to fill in for delegate spots of missing delegates?
You're seating delegates or alternates or attendants did not show up yet.
Okay, the meeting has not been called to order. Is that correct? So how are you able to place alternates in for the spot of delegates when the meeting has not yet been called to order?
Properly credentialed alternates are seated missing delegates who are properly credentialed.
Right, that's correct.
We'll report on that.
Right, but the meeting has not been called to order.
Parliamentarian says that until we have the report of the credential committee, there's a vote on it, it won't matter. That's what the report's going to say. Do you have a problem with that?
We can't vote or do anything until the meeting is called to order.
Right. You're doing that.
Right, but my understanding is that the procedure, and that's, you know, when you look at the call to convention, is that you cannot seat alternates in the place of delegates until the meeting is called to order. There's not even a meeting going on right now, and you're seating alternates. I mean, I can't even make a motion. We don't even have a meeting going on right now.
We're just seating the people.
Sir, you cannot seat alternates in the place of delegates without the meeting being called to order.
They're not official delegates until the body votes to accept the credential report away.
So you're just seating them, and then you're going to do a roll call?
And do a credential report, yeah.
And does that include a roll call?
Yeah.
I would say I would like to put this on the record, but we are not even having a meeting right now. So we need to bring this meeting to order.
Hill, please come here. Come up to the front, please. Are you here?
Hey, everybody, raise your hand if you'd like to get started.
Yeah!
Me too. What's the holdup, folks?
Could we have the temporary chair address the crowd, please? Could you explain what is taking so long to call the meeting to order?
Please use the microphone.
Microphone.
Credentials Committee. The Credentials Committee is attempting to identify their final report. So we have that report to be able to bring out here for discussion. We obviously can't have a vote. We're within a moment or two of having that. So if you'll give us just about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to have the report. Then we can
Alright,
move
so on
forward.
the Credentials Committee, why don't you call the meeting to order, then we can get the Credentials Committee and vote on the report, or take a recess and then we can do that. So let's call the meeting to order. Well, the chair is making.
All right, we're going to call in order the 1st Congressional District Convention for the Republican Party. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Harold Hendricka to give the invocation.
Would you bow with me, please? By way of a prayer for thought, recently I was in the rotunda of the state capitol, the symbolic center of Missouri's government. There are 7 panels wherein there are truisms etched in stone. 4 of those are scripture. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And then a key one that says righteousness exalts a nation. And the rest of the verse is, but sin is a reproach to any people. May we pray. Our Heavenly Father, we are praying for grace for this occasion. We're praying, dear Father, that you would help us to be people of goodwill, people with high motives, people desirous to carry out the democratic process in good faith. Jesus, you told us that blessed are the peacemakers. So we are praying that as much as possible we might be a peaceable people, as hopefully we come together, each with our own consciences at work, to do good things. So God is your Lord, and be pleased with our activity today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Will we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. The chair is going to appoint a temporary secretary to take notes until we have a permanent secretary. Becky Bilal, would you please come forward as a temporary secretary? At this time, the chair would like to point out a couple of good things. Everybody who is seated in front of the tables, who's in a chair, should have a green card. Would everybody please hold your green card up? Has anybody got a green card that does not have a flag on it? No. Okay. See somebody without a flag or any valid voter, tell them to take them out. Everybody who's, you can put the flag, you can put, yeah, you have a challenge. That's good if you don't. You don't have a job. We'll discuss that in a moment. Everybody who's behind the tables has pink cards. They're the alternates. I said this earlier. We'll repeat it. The campus is totally smoke-free. If you go outside, you're not allowed to smoke inside or outside the buildings. And so let's see if we can get things moving here. Welcome to the First Congressional District Convention. I'm Dan O'Sullivan. I'm the head of the Township Committee man. Sharon Barnes will be appointed temporary chair. Sharon has had a family emergency. She had to go to her nephew's in Milwaukee, I believe, and was unable to be here today. The party asked me to be temporary chair. So if you are a praying person, please keep Sharon and her family in your prayers. All right. The business of the meeting. Temporary committees. There are several temporary committees that have been appointed. At this point, I'm going to tell you who those are. For registration, we had Edna Ditto, Becky Bawalda, Bob DeVoli, Sarah DeVoli, Robin Hamlin, and Steve Knowles. The police are providing security, so we do not have any standing sergeant at arms at the moment. We find the need for one because we can't get along. I'd be happy to appoint one. Hopefully that won't be needed. The Credentials Committee is chaired by Bob DeVoli, who's right here. The people that are on that will help review the credentials are Becky Bawalda, Edna Ditto, and Steve Knowles. The Rules Committee is James Knowles, T.R. Carr, Ted Engler, and Sarah DeVoli. I want to apologize to anybody that received an email of rules from me that said that they were fine. The version which I was provided had an error in it. I was not aware that it had an error in it as a redistribution. I did not realize it had an error in it until 3 this morning, and I was unclear what I was going to do with it at that point. So we have new copies, and we'll make those available in 2 months. Everyone can review. the parts that were missing had to do with the platform and debate. We deleted inadvertently the distributed version. Platform committee is Robin Hamlin, Kelly Owens, and Paul Yorkie. The timekeeper is going to be Ed Harlow. He's over here. He's got some little signs. He puts up stop, please stop talking. We're all trying to get along. The tellers, for voting, we're going to do what people from the city did last time. I witnessed it. We did something similar. And what we did before was you will stand up and hold your card up. There will be two tellers, and we will ask you to count. So, 1, 2, 3, it's like the kids count to 1. And we'll go around, everybody will sit down, and the two tellers will make sure that they agree on the count. And then we will count whatever the next issue is, whether it's a game or whether we have to count on multiple people. Following any vote, we will pause to make sure that we don't have more votes than people that are here, because obviously then we need to do some kind of a roll call vote at that point in time. Tellers are Brian Cohen, who is, the gentleman is up here, and the person that I've used the committees that Sharon had assembled before. And Steve Knowles, who is voting, is a delegate, he helped last time, and he'll help him do the count. We'll be aware that he's voting, Brian is not voting, so just so you guys are aware. That should take care of our temporary committees. Chair is going to appoint Chris Dickey as the temporary parliamentarian. She's a registered parliamentarian, and Sharon had engaged her to assist us today, and we kept her on, and that's okay. Without objection, we're going to take a 2-minute recess just so we can finish his numbers. Just finalizing the report really is almost done with the report. Any objections? All right, so we're going to be back in about 2 minutes. We could ask that people put your phones in vibrate mode for the body of the meeting. We appreciate it. Thank you. excuse me, I think there's 7 people that had a pink card that now have a green card. Can you stand up for me, please? You guys, I know this is pathetic, just go back there and stand in between those 2 tables for me. All we do is credentials with this. You guys want to argue over these.
Point of information, is there a deadline on the time that we have this room?
No.
There's not? Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to reopen the meeting here. Yeah. The policeman said that we're supposed to be out of here with your name. The Dallas Times, the contractor has told us that we should be here after the meeting. So he and I are going to have a conversation when we're going to break. We're trying not to have any more break. All right. Bob Willie is the chairman of the Credential Committee, please present the report.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman, the Credentials Committee has completed the registration process with 2012 Republican First Congressional District Convention. You hear me now? We are happy to report that 96 delegates have registered. Let me back up for a minute. Of the 102 elected delegates, 96 delegates have registered for today's convention. Of the 102 elected alternates, 64 alternates have registered for today's convention.
Point of information, please. Are there supposed to be 103 delegates or 102?
Okay, okay. There was one delegate who was disqualified because he was not a registered voter in St. Louis County. There were 7 open delegates.
Point of information. Directly, this is referring to what he said. Right. The delegate who was not seated, because he was not a registered voter, what was the name of that delegate?
Lucas Roman.
Yes, he is in fact registered to vote.
The Credentials Committee will present their report. They will then make a motion. We will have discussion on the report of the Credentials Committee prior to voting on whether we accept or reject it.
Thank you.
Okay, there were 7 open delegate seats in St. Louis County. We have filled 7 of the open seats with alternates. This leaves 0 unfilled delegate seats in St. Louis County. This gives us a total of 102 delegates in the delegate section at this time. There is 1 delegate for whom the Credential Committee has challenged their credentials. At this time, I move that the delegates accept the initial credentials committee report as presented.
The chair is open to discussion on the report from the convention committee. Please move to the microphone. You will field from the left. Yes. You.
Yes, if I may.
State your name, please.
My name is Cecil Skaggs. I'm a delegate to the city. I'm speaking on behalf of Lucas. He is a registered voter. It was my understanding that the objection to him was due to his age, as he's not yet 18 yet. However, the rules clearly state he has to be a registered voter. He was allowed to register at the age of 17 and a half. He has done so. I fail to see what the disqualification grounds are. He has registered to vote.
The requirements of the state party for a delegate is that you be a registered voter. And you are not a voter until you are of age to cast a vote. And the state law allows you to register before you are 18, but you are not classified as a voter until your birthday. The election, wait, please. The election board was asked what the status of his voter registration was. They said he is a registered person with the election board. His voter status is pending. He is not a voter in St. Louis County at this time.
And what is the legal foundation for that?
The discussion be closed.
Not here in a second. I will continue answering the question. You need to be recognized to place that motion. The state party was asked about this after the question was raised, and they consulted with Hush Blackwell, who said,
With whom? I'm sorry.
Hush Blackwell, it's a law firm right now, and they said, having a question regarding somebody after those who are pre-registered, they said that they had talked about this, and they decided that even if you assume they are registered, they are not a voter until they are 18, because they could not vote in an election on the day when the meeting will be held.
Okay, fair enough, but how, is that an opinion on their part, or do they have do they have any sort of authority for that?
We went to the election board, what I have is the election board printed out a report which they stamped with their certification and signed, and they told us that as far as the election board of the state of Missouri is concerned, he is not a voter today.
Okay, and again, though, I realize he has in fact registered to vote. That is all that's stated in the party rule.
No, he has to be a voter.
Is that, and again,
Yeah, he has to be a
you
voter.
have, basically what you have then is you have the opinion of the law firm and you have the opinion of the election board. There's no
The state
basis for-
party advised me as temporary chair that his delegacy was disqualified based upon the information from the state election board.
And I understand that, and we are contesting that fact. That's in fact why I'm standing up here.
I understand that, but a disqualification is not the position of the state was that it is not a question which can be voted on because he's not qualified. You can't vote to seat a person who's not a registered voter.
And what we are,
Mr. Chairman.
Are you?
I see too.
Yes, ma'am.
As a point of order,
State your name.
Joseph Daniel Kelly, delegate from the city. As a point of order, he has already voted in a caucus, being Airport Township. And a question,
What's the point?
the point is he's already voted in an assembly like this. So there's precedent. Item two, if it turns out that he were disqualified, then I assume he would be replaced with a similar delegate.
Motion to accept the decision of the election board as to the status. Asking for a roll call vote.
Okay.
Point of information?
The state call convention says only rules governing the caucus convention, only Republicans who are registered voters residing in the district of their election shall be elected a delegate or alternate. He's not a voter at the moment. He didn't vote. He participated in a caucus, which is not an official election in the state of Missouri. And this is a separate body. No, wait. This body is separately constituted from the caucus which he participated in. And one of the things that is important to understand, and I understand where we are here, but if we have a person, so I'm going to talk. If you'll bear with me for about a minute here, I'm going to tell you about the theory here. If a voter who is unqualified to vote is allowed to vote by this body, and it is later determined that he was an invalid voter, the delegates and electors selected from this body would be considered invalid if he is the deciding vote. Therefore, we, as the 1st Congressional District, would have no delegates at the RNC, and we would not have a presidential elector. The presidential elector would be selected by the chairman of the state party. So it is very important when we're talking about the credentials to understand that there is an implication. If we allow a person who is a disqualified voter, that the party has already indicated to us that they consider a disqualified voter, they're giving us a heads up that if we end up in a vote that's a one-vote difference, and if he ends up being the vote that changes an election, they could disqualify the business of this convention. And if we want to continue the discussion on that fact, we can. But I'm just telling you that's the information. That's what's necessary for us in the credentialing process, is to ensure that nobody can challenge the business of the meeting. If we allow people from another congressional district or somebody who's not a valid voter to vote, we raise the specter that the business of the meeting will not be considered valid. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Amy Allen,
Yep.
delegate from Midland Caucus. I move the previous question.
So the previous question is the adoption of Credentials Committee report. Do I have a second? We need to have a 2/3 vote to end discussion. All those in favor of ending discussion on this topic, please stand and hold your green card. People who are in the up here in the voting area with the green card, guys who are the alternate operation green card. Brian, where's Brian? Brian, wait, Brian, look, we're going to count them together.
Point of information.
Yes, sir. Where are you?
Right here. Luke Ralphie, I'm the challenge delegate. Earlier when I was talking to you, you told me that I was able to vote in a caucus because the call to convention says that. The call to convention is the same for a convention today. So you saying that I can vote in a caucus and not in a convention is incorrect because it has the same wording. And I think that I should be able to vote. I'll be able to vote in the general election. I think it only makes sense that I should be able to figure out who's going to be in that general election. That's why I'm going to be here today.
I appreciate your desire to participate. Jesse Irwin.
Yeah.
Why do I have your driver's license?
I'll take it back though.
All right. I appreciate what you said, and I want you to participate in the election in the fall. But that does not change the credentials question which is before this body. So all those in favor who are holding a green card, please hold it up and start counting. Brian and Steve on your. The people who are voting for it, they want some of the person to do it. So the people who are voting, so you're voting to accept the, okay, end discussion. We're voting to end discussion. Yeah. Okay, guys, they're voting to end discussion. Just count the votes. Wait for Brian.
Counting on. So right down the road.
Please count out loud so we can hear you.
Please count out loud.
Now we're going to have you both watch the all right, let's stop. All right, let's start over. So we're all clear. Sorry. So, tell her. The two of you are watching the same people. You're not counting separate areas. We're trying to make sure that the both of you come up with the same number. We're going to count across, and we're going to go across the room, and then we're going to come back.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, a quick point of information. Will we still be seating 103 delegates? Will he be replaced by an alternate?
He will be replaced by another.
Count on.
Point of information.
Please hold off that point of information until the vote count.
Move to stop counting is obvious. Two-thirds is obvious.
It's obvious. The chair finds that 2/3 of the people are standing, so we're going to end discussion.
Point of information. Is the delegate, Luke, from the airport township, is he going to be replaced by an alternate from the airport township?
Mr. Walton cannot be replaced by an alternate from the airport township because there are no alternates from the airport township who registered.
I make a motion that we have the
If
delegate that is challenged.
If there's an alternate from a township, it's seeking within the township.
That's, okay, that's the motion I was going to make.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, all right. So our finding when the credentials didn't count was that there were no alternates signed in from airport at the moment. All right. Now we're going to go straight to the vote on the acceptance of the credentials report. So all those in favor of adopting the credentials report as presented, please stand and hold your green cards up.
Point of information,
Voting.
but we still have a challenged delegate that you said that we would discuss before we would vote.
We vote on that after we adopt the credentials report that states that we have a challenge delegate, and then the body will vote on the challenge delegate, each and all vote. We need 51%, so let's just do a quick count. Yeah, go ahead, start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13,
34, 36, 38, 40,
46.
48, 49, 52, 53,
The chair finds that there's a
5 total votes.
there are 55 people voting, and that is a majority of the body, or we will not count those again. The people who who are standing between the tables are, these are the people, there seems to be some discussion on how people were seated. The rules of the body are that in St. Louis County, we seat alternates from within the township. And if there are no alternates from within the township, once all the people from the individual townships are seated, then we select an alternate from the general pool of available delegates who have not been seated for someone else. Does anybody have a question to understand that real quick?
Joshua Henning from the Midland Township is seated for Chuck Hall from the Midland Township. Edward Shuttle from the Lee Township is seated for Garrett Mees of the Lee Township. Gerald Weiss of Northwest Township is seated for Ryan Grimm of the Northwest Township. Mary Beth Engler from the Northwest Township is seated for Bob Emily from the Northwest Township. Maria Thompson from the Lewis and Clark Township is seated for Drew Garvey from the Lewis and Clark Township. Margaret Mulvihill from the Jefferson Township is seated for Charles Mulvihill from the Jefferson Township. And Zachary Cole from the Airport Township. I'm sorry. Zachary Cole, do you have a card? Okay. John Skate from the Monson. No, I'm sorry, John Skate from John Skates. You're going to be seated. Replacing Luke Walton from Airport.
Information, Mr. Chairman. Before we took the vote, there were originally 103 total delegates in the convention. Then Luke's ability to vote was challenged, and that changed the total number from 102. At that time, the question was raised, can Luke be replaced by someone else so that the total would be brought back up to 103? And you said no. The rules. No, you said no. Correct. You said he could not be replaced because there were no alternates from the airport available to replace him. So the total voting body was made up of 102. Therefore, it cannot be that at this time, Luke, being from airport, can be replaced by someone not from airport.
There may have been a misspeak here, but what the credentials report stated was that there were 102 delegates in the delegate section at this time. There is 102 delegates did not include Luke because he was.
And if Luke was included, the total would have been 103.
And the county rules state, as I said, that a position is filled from within the township, and once all the people are filled within their townships, they're then filled from the general pool of available county people by the Credentials Committee. And the delegates in the county, while there seems to be a misunderstanding at times on this. The delegates in the county are allocated on a county basis. They are not allocated on a township basis. The Township Central Committee makes a request of the state to provide us numbers to balance and have people elected on a township basis for convenience. The delegates themselves are representatives of the county, and they are representatives of the congressional district for which they are selected to represent. We as the county, I'm on the county central committee, we in the county select to do this so that we don't have a meeting of several thousand people. That does not change the legitimacy of every alternate and every delegate. They're representing the county. They're not representing their township. They're here in this body as a representative of St. Louis County. And it is the St. Louis County rules that any county alternate can be elevated to fill an unfilled position in one of the townships for which there are not available people in that township.
No GOP called to convention, page 5 states, in accordance with Rule 15D6 of the Republican National Committee, there shall be no proxies at any convention for the purpose of selecting delegates or alternates to the 2012 Republican Convention. In light of that, I move that the total number of delegates be finalized at 102, and that no replacement for Luke be placed. Do I have a second?
I second that.
This is not a proxy. The body cannot vote to just reduce the size of the body.
Point of information, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Mark Hansen speaking. I think we have a happy solution. The committeeman from airport is here, and there is a suitable candidate to replace Luke that I think would be agreeable to all concerned. I suggest that we allow, or I recommend that we allow Bruce Walda to make a suggestion for a replacement.
The rules, according to the state, because people raised this question, phoning up and talking with prior to the convention, we discussed this with the state party. The state party said it is the ultimate determination of the county delegation as a whole, if there is any question.
Mr.
That is the ultimate determination of the county delegation as a whole. The county delegation determines how their people are done. Individual townships, when they elect their delegates, can determine if they want their people to substitute first. But anybody who is an alternate in the county is considered a county-wide delegate, and they're fit to replace it. And it is the duty of the Credentials Committee, and if it was not the duty of the Credentials Committee, it is not the job of the city delegates. The city delegates have no say. So we cannot have a vote in this body. The city delegates have no say in replacing a county delegate, in the same way that the county has no say in the replacement of a city delegate. Because we are separate bodies that come together today to perform the business of the meeting.
Okay, Dan, appreciate that. What I suggest or propose is that Bruce offer a motion or make a point of information. He does have somebody that I would support at being one of the county delegates. That's all.
And point of order, in Section 5 of the credentialing process of the first U.S. Congressional District Convention Republican Party rules for Saturday, April 21st, 2012, that you sent me, Mr. Chair, within that it states, and I quote, the priority for calling the alternates to become delegates will be based upon the priority procedure of the alternates that was established at the township or the city of St. Louis caucus and made known by the acting chair in a manner the acting chair deems reliable. If the acting chair is not aware of the priority procedures for alternates that was established at the township or city of St. Louis caucus, the acting chair may seek information from the chair of the county, city, central committee, or the chair of the township or city of St. Louis caucus is present. Mr. Bowalda is present.
But Mr. Bowalda has no alternate place.
it says that they will seek information.
It is. The first point is the parliamentarian says the rules aren't in effect yet. The rules, the rules have not been voted on.
Sir, these are the rules that you sent to me and said are the standing rules of this convention as of right now. As of the second you called this to order, these were the rules. You sent these to me as the standing rules of the convention.
I'd like to clarify the motion because this makes a lot of sense. The airport committee man should be responsible to select the delegate to replace the delegate that was challenged. And I would like to put that motion on the floor for a vote. So can I have a second?
A second.
It's not the business of this convention to select the person who will replace the county. If we had a vote, the only vote which could take place would be among the county delegates only. And if that is what you would like us to do, then I suggest that that the Credentials Committee make his recommendation, which they have already done, and they are the body to do that. And if Mr. Bawalda would like to submit a second name, we can consider both of those names. And the county delegation can select which of those people they would like to sit.
I don't think that there's actually a rule stating that, and we are the body here to vote on the rules. So,
I've been notified of one other thing, just so we're clear. Mr. Bawalda is the committee man from Airport Township, but he was not the chair of the caucus. Therefore, he is not the person that the rules call to make the selection.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
I think the intent...
True.
I think the intent of Airport Township is clear. It's clear to most of us. And I suggest we respect their intent, whichever way the vote goes for whomever today.
And if we're going to have a vote of the county body, that is their job to make that decision. And I respect that, and I don't have a problem with that.
And I could come back and say that we should have a vote of the Airport Township. That's where the delegates from.
But the airport caucus is not here, and that would be...
Well, we have a representative or two from there. Let them vote. Let them select.
All right. Look, all right. We've got to get out of here. We do have... pushing up near the end.
Point of information, Chair.
Where? Yes, ma'am.
If I wanted to make a motion, how would I make a motion to the effect that I want to put the question to the county delegates to determine who we should seat as the delegate from the alternates? How would I make that motion to bring that to a vote? Could you help me? No, this is a very legitimate question. I can ask for information. That's what we're doing, sir.
Have a seat. Let the chair do her job.
All right. So, if you got...
This is the motion we want. We don't know how to do it.
Okay. So, and I'm sorry, the parliamentarian interrupted me partway through that. I think I understand what you said, but here's what I would suggest. I would suggest that without objection, if you guys want to object, we'll have more discussions, but that we will have the Credentials Committee will submit their name, Bruce will submit his name, and the chair, although it's not strictly part of the meeting, will poll the St. Louis County delegation on which of those two candidates they would like to see. Is there an objection to that?
Can I make a motion?
And the people, one second. And the people in the back, other than John Skates, you have been seated. You guys can sit down. The only person that can't sit down is Skates.
Dan?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
Paul Yerke, Seattle Township.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a reason when we go through this process at the township level that you have delegates and you have alternates, okay? And it's the responsibility of each township to get their people, their alternates here, And I'm sorry, but that's the way the system works. If airport alternates did not think it was important enough to take the time out that every one of you came and gave your Saturday morning for this process, then it goes, they've lost their right, okay? This is a responsibility. They have a responsibility to be here as alternates, just like delegates.
Now, I have a point of information. The chairman of the airport township is not here because he's from the 2nd Congressional District. The airport township is divided between 2 congressional districts. So because the chairman's not here is not a valid reason to allow the committeemen of the airport township to select the alternate.
The rules of the convention are that the credentials committee makes the selection. If you guys think this is that important, the chair is willing, if we are, I'm willing to take this as we can all have a big fight going forward, and the chair will make a decision, and we can argue about the decision later. But I would suggest that at this moment in time, we say that it is the county delegation's job to do this. Let's let the county delegation vote on it and move on with the meeting so we can.
I make a motion, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Amy Allen from the Midland Township. I make a motion that this body of St. Louis County delegates vote on who to appoint for the delegate position from the airport to replace Luke. And I propose that the chairman of the airport caucus appoint that we take nominations and then vote on that.
Okay.
Committee man from the airport caucus appoint, and then your other candidate. And I move that we vote.
As long as the credentials committee will be able to submit their name, and then he will submit.
This is an amendment. I guess I'm moving an amendment.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your cards up. The chair finds that a majority, significant majority of the hands are up, so we are going to do that. The credentials report. The credentials committee is recommending to replace Luke Rolfe. John Skates is one of the candidates. Is there a nomination for a second candidate?
Mr. Chairman, as committeeman of Airport Township, I'm nominating Nathaniel Schulte, a delegate, or an alternate from Midland Township, to fulfill the vacancy in Airport Township.
Second.
Hold on one second. Is he here? Stand up. Okay. Show me where it's at. All right. Okay. We have a second? Are there any other nominations? We have a motion the nomination to be closed. Second. All those in favor, raise your cards. Okay. Now, all the people in the city, hold your cards up for me. All right. Brian, yeah, I know. Robert Brian. Brian. Okay, so none of you guys get a vote. So who's the guy in the 4th row? Okay. All right. So St. Louis County voters are the only ones that get to raise their card for this one. So you're not seeing that guy next to Stokes, okay? And you two, you're a county delegate? The guy up next to the microphone.
Yes.
You are?
Yes, I'm a county.
Are you a registered person? No. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, all those in favor of voting for John Skates to replace Luke Rolfe, please, it's only a vote of the county delegates. Please stand up.
Please say it aloud. 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18.
The chair finds that there are 67 delegate positions, one of which is open at the moment. So that was way over 50%, so we will not count the votes for the alternate candidate. Mr. Skates, please come up and take your card.
Point of information, Chair. The rest of the delegates that were sat, the alternates that were sat.
Those were the ones that he had read off.
Yes, some of that information was incorrect when it was read off as to what townships they were from.
Okay. Is it important?
Yes, it's important. Are we not sitting alternates from the respective townships first? No, sir. You said that Mary Beth Engler was from Northwest. She's from University Township, replacing the delegate from Northwest Township.
Mary Beth, the Credentials Committee made an error in their report. There was only one alternate available from the Northwest Township, and so the first person that was available replaced the first Northwest person, and Mary Beth Engler was selected to replace the second open position.
There's an alternate from Northwest back here. I'd like to submit her as a nominee.
Bear with us a moment. Sharon prepared the list that had the list of the delegates and alternates from the individual townships, and there were a couple of errors, and we found most of them. That's what I said. Mary Beth, I think we're going to let her sit in your place if that's all right. Bring your card up here, please. Donna, come up here, please. So we have a motion regarding the challenge delegates from the Credentials Committee.
The motion is we have Don Kennedy. Second motion is Pamela Hartley from Ferguson Township is to be seated for Stephen Gleason from the Ferguson Township, who is a challenged delegate, and it's been documented that he is a loyal libertarian, and it's documented on his Facebook page that he's a libertarian instead of a Republican.
Point of information, the concept of being libertarian and the concept of being a Republican are not mutually exclusive. One can be a libertarian Republican. And more to the point, and I think that for a great part of this party's history, libertarian values have been at its core. So I fail to see how somebody simply feeling themselves to have libertarian views disqualifies them as a Republican.
Point of order, speaking to that issue directly, there is a recognized libertarian party. If they have contributed to it or advocated for that party, they are not a legitimate Republican registered partisan here. So
yes,
we have a Republican Party, not a Republican Libertarian Party.
All right, but in that event, we say he is a documented member of the Libertarian Party. Is that what you were saying, or are you saying?
Hold on, let's address our issue.
He does not have to be documented. All he has to do is make a claim to be supportive of another candidate other than a Republican. That can disqualify him alone.
Yes, that is not, however, what was stated. What was stated was that he claims that he is a Libertarian. And one can be a Libertarian and be a Republican. That is not mutually exclusive.
The chair would like the floor at the moment. The challenge, as I understand it, presented by the Credential Committee, is that they have a web page which was printed off yesterday, which says that a delegate to this convention has on the web page that they're a libertarian. The question is to the body. According to the state party rules, you have to be a strong and faithful Republican, and it is a determination of this body what constitutes a strong and faithful Republican. So the question to this body is to vote on whether or not to seat Steve Gleason, who is the delegate, or whether to accept the credentials report and seat an alternate in his place.
Point of information. When can I defend myself?
I'm happy to let you defend yourself.
I'll try and make this brief. Hello, I'm Stephen Gleason. I was at this convention 4 years ago, and I was very happy to be elected as a delegate again this year. The charge is that I'm a libertarian. Absolutely, I'm a libertarian in the same way as Barry Goldwater, in the same way as Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan said, at the very heart of conservatism is libertarianism. Thank you. If the concern is that I'm somehow affiliated with the Libertarian Party, I apologize for that confusion. I have no affiliation with that party. I am a Republican. I'm here because I'm a Republican. I want to be here. Please don't make me leave. Thank you.
I would like to move that this body take a vote to seat Mr. Gleason.
Like so.
Not a state delegate, he's a county delegate.
May I make one more point against seating him?
Hold on, wait. Parliamentarian says that the last question constituted a close of discussion, so we have to have a vote on whether we're closing discussion before we can accept more discussion. So, all those in favor of closing the discussion on this issue, please raise your card. The chair finds that it is obvious that more than 2/3 of the people have raised their cards. So, let's see if I can be very clear. We are first going to vote whether to seat Mr. Gleason. We are then going to vote whether we will not seat Mr. Gleason. A no vote, if he goes down, will mean that the alternate who has been selected by the Credential Committee will be seated in his place. Is there any question on that? Want to raise a quick hand? Yes. No, because this is not this is a question of general qualification, which is a question that is addressed by the body as a whole. Okay? Therefore, what? All right. All those in favor of seating Steve Gleason as a delegate to this convention, please stand at this time.
46. 48. 49.
So, the division will be seated.
Point of information for the chair.
Go to the microphone, please.
Thank you.
Name?
John Kent from Florissant Township. So at this point, how many delegates do we have now? 103. Thank you.
At this point in time, we have rules here that are in the front. If you'd like to come up and grab a copy, we need to get this moving along. I'm happy to have people come up and do this, and we're going to take a 3-minute recess without objection. 3 minutes, not 20.